bifurcation method for tomatoes. And what it does is it allows it to grow on both sides of the stem. So sorry if this is going to be boring, I'm going to shoot other videos and edit. But what this does is allow your tomato to actually produce fruit on both sides. So I did a test batch last week, and then now I'm finishing and topping them all off now that they all have grown. You would hate to top them all and then they would die. So it's one of the easier things. The other thing we're going to do today is we're going to measure out and finalize our American pumpkin and see how that ends up doing. There's some nutrient deficiencies in here, but overall it looks like we're going to have a good family harvest, not ready for commercial because you needed more seeds and I didn't plant enough seeds. I got a lot of gourds, but not actually a lot of pumpkins. So they did okay. It doesn't look bad. A little bit of weakness, but we'll get them in the field and feed them. They'll be doing pretty well. So just give like an update to the farm. Our jalapenos and poblano peppers were really good. Everything else was rough, to say the least. So we're moving on into watermelon, squash, and sweet corn for the fall season, and that'll take us up. We have tomatoes, what I'm doing now, but I'm waiting on the greenhouse behind us to finish up construction. So what I'm doing is this bifurcation method to actually stunt them a little bit, slow them down, and then I'll repot them in another pot. And it's just a really simple thing. Just once it gets 2 sets of true leaves, you just top it, and then that will apparently allow it to produce fruit on 2-liter stems. So we can take 500 tomatoes, 500 tomato plants, and then get 10,000 pounds of tomatoes out of it. So I got a big beef, which is a big slicer. I've got I guess Steve-O, which is just referred to me. I don't know much about it, but I figure it's about a 7 to 10 ounce tomato, which is nice. That'll be nice to deal with. So we'll see how that ends up actually growing. I've topped everything in this one, going to next strip. And then we got some grapes and what's the other one? Sakura and Edox, which are going to be your cherry tomatoes. And those seem to be doing really good back here. Camera around and some other B-roll footage and show them. But the stevia did really good. So that's why I'm confident that I can top them now. Our watermelon was sad. Not much grew on that. And then we have the next batch of watermelon, so see if we can get that to grow. It's in rainy season now, so you never know what's actually going to happen. A little insect damage here, but nothing crazy to be expected because we have an open greenhouse and an open nursery. So I'm just going to sit here and just do some topping. This one's got a lot of steam and see if it grows back. So that I'm going to shoot some B-roll. So here will be some like close-in bifurcation method. I'm just cutting right above, topping it down 2 leaves. And this is what's going to actually allow it to juice on both sides. Now it looks like I am having some insects, so I'm going to have to make sure I spray off and whatnot. It's kind of weird, really chopping off a lot, but apparently this triggers the plant to grow on both sides, and it looks like it did on this tray. So I'll figure it out. You know, it's a trial and error. But if we can do this, it means that I only have to tray and sow this many tomatoes, and this is 10,000 pounds of tomatoes out of one greenhouse, out of like 450 square meters. So you ask me, that sounds like it's pretty easy to maintain at that point with 5-row spacing. So I always go in here and also chop out all the weeds and whatnot. You know, that's just fun. Just testing out different growing methods, efficient growing and farming, and seeing how to be sustainable. Deal with nowadays is sustainable farming. A lot of farmers are having trouble selling their crops, local normal market dynamics and whatnot, and that's for everybody because we all end the bill on that. So any way that we can find what costs for everybody and create, you know, sustainable processes, then that's kind of where we're at right now. We're testing our fall crops, right? Pumpkin, watermelon. I know watermelon sounds silly that it's a fall crop, but it's actually a fall crop. You got to have your round fruits for start them now and then harvest. It's one of those good things. And then of course we got sweet corn. We're doing a little bit different. We got about ½ hectare of sweet time so that we get enough corn going cycle. So we'll always have so that's one of the new methods that we're doing. Again, not a farmer by trade, but you know, I like to experiment quasi-scientist. You know, I don't mind gambling and topping. Look at this, destroying these lovely tomatoes, destroying them. Trin's busy around at Sal. We had really good success. We'll explain to you how Greenhouse 2 did as a growing method. It's still in production. It went into season, I think, back in somewhere that put it in production or into planting. Not bad. Pretty good. It was one of those crazy trellis methods that I saw in the state. And it might have been, but now when we harvested week after, we're pulling out about good with minimal occasional fertigation. We had to get rid of our field, like I said, where our field got attacked on the poblano. Atzel did good, and then they just couldn't keep the pests out, so we just decided to terminate that because the cost of fertilizer expense moves on from there. And then that's now we're doing our fall cutting patch. I'm nervous about it being enough, but they're going to have super good spacing. So I'm either going to have like 100 pumpkins or I'm going to have 1,000 pumpkins. So I'm not sure how many in between there. I'll be happy. I don't know what I'm going to do with 1,000 American pumpkins. Hopefully I make a lot of. Yeah, it's going to be. We didn't expect it to actually happen. I'm going to leave some of these on top. I think I'll have like on them. So it's just one of those things. This is really sketch to me because I'm really gambling on. I trust the source that I got it from, and I understand the biology behind it and why it would work in a way. But again, I did a test batch, and it looks like everything caused the plant to freak out.